It doesn't matter if you're a constant five-star teacher with a good record and how many students love to book your lessons. When Engoo decides to terminate you, they disable your account the moment they send you a termination letter. Is Engoo even worth it? Is it a good company to work with? Hello, I'm Shay, and today I'm gonna talk about why I no longer work for Engoo or Bibo Global Opportunity. Now, Engoo is a Japanese online English school. I worked for them from 2016 to August 2021. Now, before I get to the why I don't work for them anymore, I'd like to do a narrative on some good points about the company. Number one is easy requirements. With Engoo, you don't need to be a degree holder to teach, but this doesn't mean they hire everyone who applies. You will still go through with an interview process, and if you ace every step of it, then you get the job. Next is English fluency is not required. Now, it depends on how you define fluency, but for me, you don't need to be proficient or sounding like a native English speaker to work for Engoo. You will be teaching mostly beginner students, and that's like teaching a kid how to talk. So your fluency is not going to matter because you will be teaching basic English. And next one is almost stress-free. I get classes which I describe challenging encounters. These are classes where the students are giving me a hard time, they're being a smartass, or simply being rude to me. However, that percentage is small. Most of my students were regulars. That means they kept booking my class. They kept coming back or returning back. So I know them, they know me, and these are students I've built rapport or connection with for 5 years. I think one indication of knowing how effective of a teacher you are is through your students. If they keep booking your lessons, that means they like you to be their teacher. They're not gonna book you if they don't like you, right? And the last one is flexible working hours. Now, you can work when you want to, if you want to. There's no pressure. But you also have to remember that if you work less, you are paid less. Because in Engoo, you are paid by how many lessons you've conducted in a pay period. So those were some of the good points for working with Engoo. Now, you might want to ask, why aren't you working for them anymore? Now, let's go back to the why. There are pros and cons with working from home, and I'm gonna get on that on another video, but today I'm gonna focus on a con that stood out. And that's frequent blackouts in the Philippines, especially where I'm at, in Negros Oriental. Noreco, which is the power company in Negros Oriental, have been having frequent blackouts in my area, and that started January of this year. Now, you cannot work, of course, if there is a power outage. However, if you have booked lessons prior to the outage, you will need to cancel them. Now in Engoo, the first 2 cancellation of classes in a month is 40 pesos, I believe. 20 or 40. I think it's 40 or maybe it's 20. I forgot. The 3rd cancellation onwards is 90 peso per class. Alright, now imagine this. You open 20 slots on a Sunday. Now, Sunday, by the way, is the busiest day of the week because people just stay home. There's no work, there's no school, so they have to spend the day at home. So this is why many students are booking classes on this day. Now imagine that you have open 20 slots on a Sunday and there's a sudden power outage and you're about to work. So what's going to happen then? Your classes will be canceled with incurred charges. The penalty is fine because you can always make up for it or you can always work for it. But the big problem now is the cancellation rate. Although you're already penalized by paying a cancellation fee, you're also penalized through the cancellation rate. And that's the hardest part. I was told by the support that for every cancellation, you need to have 24 classes to make up for that percentage. So in order to get back to the way your cancellation rate was, you need to have 24 lessons for every cancellation. So imagine you have 10 canceled lessons in a month. How many classes do you have to do to make up for it? Heaps, right? Due to my high cancellation rate, I lost my job. And it's something that's out of my control. Noreko, as usual, never disappoint us with surprise blackouts, and there's nothing I can do with that. I live in a third world country and I cannot change the system. However, I'm curious though if other parts of the country are experiencing the same. Do you also get frequent blackouts? Like when I say frequent, it's once or twice in a week. Like I really want to know if you're experiencing the same thing where you live. Please let me know by leaving a comment. Another good thing with Engoo is that they pre-warn you for the possible consequence of having a high cancellation rate. But with my experience, these long, painstaking outages always happens end of the month when you cannot do anything anymore to lower your cancellation rate because it's a cutoff date already. So yeah, that was it. It doesn't matter if you're a constant 5-star teacher with a good record and how many students love to book your lessons. When Engoo decides to terminate you, they disable your account the moment they send you a termination letter. And that means you cannot dispute their decision. It's final because you cannot get into your account anymore because it's already disabled. And oh, by the way, I always email Noreko to send me a certification about the power outages. So every cancellation is backed up by the power company. Even so, your cancellation rate is still what it is. It's not gonna change, whether the cancellation is backed up with evidence or not, or it is still going to affect your cancellation rate. I'm pretty sure that there are many Engoo teachers who experience the same thing. It would be really nice to hear from you. I don't know anyone. I've got no friends working for Engoo, so I don't know if you have the same experience. But anyway, that was my story, guys, about why I'm no longer with Engoo. So thank you so much for watching this video. I think I'm gonna make more videos about my experience with Engoo as an online English tutor. I'll see you next time.